Hey y'all, welcome to Not Quite a Homestead. So we are in the process of finally getting out the rest of our seedlings into the garden and into containers. We're really behind this year. I think we took on a lot of projects, a lot of big projects, and we were just really excited to get our garden started. So we bit off more than we can chew, but we're handling it one little bite at a time. So today I'm actually planting the rest of the peppers that we showed you in the previous video where I pruned them back to encourage more growth. So you'll be able to see how much they've grown in the last few weeks. So come on, let's plant some peppers. So these peppers have been pretty neglected over the last few weeks. We put them out hoping that we would get them into the garden, and then we went on vacation, and the whole time we were on vacation it was really cold and it rained the whole time, so they were a bit worse for the wear when we got home. And of course life gets in the way. We've got kids, we've got work, we've got school, and so they've kind of sat. We continue to feed them and water them, but they're definitely ready to come out of these containers. Nonetheless, they're doing really well. So this is a Carnival. You can see here where we pruned it back, and all this new growth has come in the last couple of weeks. It's really amazing how it does that. Plants want to grow. And then this is a banana pepper, and you can see there's some bug damage with this one, and it's a little bit purple, a little bit yellow, but it's still trying to flower. But again, you can see right here is where we pruned it back, and all of this growth has come up. And then this one is really great too. So this is a Poinsettia Pepper, and this here is where we pruned it back. You can see the scar and all of this new growth in the last couple of weeks. So we're really excited that our pruning still works, so give it a shot. So we're just gonna go ahead and plant these peppers in some containers. So when we are planting peppers in containers, we make sure there's at least 2.5 gallons, and this is a 2.5 gallon container. We do plant them in 5-gallon containers as well as in the ground. And this year we're actually trying 10-gallon containers, and we were doing 3 in those. So basically this is just a combination of topsoil, compost, and peat moss. Probably a third, and a third. There's, again, that topsoil that we bought. It still has a lot of rocks and whatnot, so we're dealing with it. But we're just gonna dig a hole. And this year, we're kind of doing some slight experimentation. We've recently come across In My Gardener's trifecta, so we're using that in addition to our old standbys of Jobs and Espoma. We do garden organically, so all of the products we use are organic. So we're just gonna get a hole in there, and this particular plant, this poinsettia, is going to get some trifecta, and we're probably just gonna put about 2 tablespoons in to the planting hole and mix it in. And throughout the season, I will amend it. I will top dress as well as give a liquid feed to these plants. So we're just gonna dig our hole, and we're gonna take the plant out. And you can see, I mean, they're pretty unhappy, but they haven't outgrown their containers just yet. They're just starting to curl at the bottom. So we're gonna loosen up the soil a little bit, loosen up those roots, and plant it in the hole. Now peppers you can plant a little bit deeper. These have already been, beaten up, so I'm not gonna plant them too deep. But we're basically just gonna cover it up and put some more soil on top, break up any clumps. And there you have it. Happy poinsettia pepper. So we're gonna repeat the same thing here with this Carnival bell pepper. Again, this potting mix here is just a third topsoil, a third compost, and a third peat moss that we mixed up. And so we're gonna, this one is actually gonna get the espoma. And this is the garden tone, which is a organic product. And we'll take this Carnival Bell. And this one is a little bit more root bound, but you can see them circling on the bottom there. But look at that beautiful root ball. And we forced all that growth by doing that pruning. And you can see they're starting to get ready to bloom. It's always exciting when your plants start to bloom. All that hard work. You put in all that time and all that effort, and really let's talk about the fact that the gardening is expensive. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do it a little more cost effectively, but at the end of the day, it's still pretty expensive. But you know what? It's worth it because you end up with some really great food for your family and your friends, and or if you do it professionally, you end up with a great product for. My kids are losing it over a spider, I think, right now. But yeah, so I mean, I've talked about it before. I think that it's worth it. Somebody asked me once, why do you want to spend $5,000 to get a 50-cent tomato? But it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. So we're just gonna give them a little drink.
You mean what, Mama?
And then they'll be set. I'll probably give them a liquid feed in about a week. They were just fed in their seed containers a couple days ago, so I don't want to overdo the fertilizer. You don't want to love your plants too much. And then what we'll end up doing, as we do with all of our container plants, is we'll put a layer of mulch over top, and then they'll be set for the season. So there you have it. We're planting peppers. Hopefully they do really well for us this season, and you can come along with us as they grow. Thanks so much for joining us again this week. We hope to see you next time. Have a good day. And don't forget to subscribe.
Done. Say bye. Say bye, Mama. Thanks for joining us. Up until now, it was bad.